So some of you may be avoiding Sound of Freedom because of things that you've heard from other people, maybe on the internet, or even mainstream media. Because things that you've heard about it being a conspiracy, people having ties to QAnon or believing in all of that stuff. And I don't blame you for not wanting to get caught up in all of that. But I've seen this movie. And it touched me. It resonated with me in ways that only a few well-made, emotionally saturated movies do. This was a rarity. A beautiful rarity. And all this movie did was tell a good story, trying to help the audience to be aware of the things that go on in some of the criminal underworld of human trafficking. And bring awareness to that so that we can do something about stopping and ending that. And they did their job, because in the theater watching this movie, all I wanted to do was to rescue these children and free them from this horrific, unimaginable life of slavery, for them to be back with their families, for them to be a kid again, to be loved. It's unimaginable what they go through. And I was already aware of things with human trafficking, child trafficking. I had read articles about that long before Sound of Freedom. But when you actually see it, when you see it from their POV, it's different. Everything hits different. I know they said the creators of Jim Caviezel, not the creator of Sound of Freedom, but played the lead, Tim Ballard, in the film. What they want this movie to be is the Uncle Tom's Cabin of modern day slavery. Because with Uncle Tom's Cabin back in the 1800s, that raised awareness of what human beings actually went through with slavery. And the awareness was raised. People saw, and they demanded for change, demanded for its end, and it took a lot. But it happened. That's what Sound of Freedom is trying to be. And for those, as someone who has seen this film, it's got nothing to do with QAnon. It's not a far-right propaganda film. I know what far-right propaganda is. I've looked into it. And I've looked into real-world problems of human trafficking. And some of the things that this film is based off of. It's nothing the same. Not even in the same. People really need to do some research. I don't lean right, and I don't lean left. Really, the whole political world just kind of makes me sick. But I try to find the good in people from either side. Whatever good I can find, focus on that. And try to use that to work together to find a common ground and focus on the light. This film focuses on the light. It's trying to unite, not break down, to fight actual criminals. But most importantly, rescue children who are kidnapped and sold and forced to do things that are the human mind can barely stand to think about. The movie doesn't even show all of that, but it definitely applies it. And any other people who have fallen victim to this evil trade, that's not a conspiracy. And when you say that this movie is a conspiracy and that people don't actually go through this, you are silencing the voices of the people who are going through this. The people who can't speak, who don't have the ability to speak because no one can hear them. This is how people can hear them. Maybe you don't realize that's what you're doing. But maybe you need to do research for yourself. Go see this movie for yourself. Decide what you think it is, instead of listening to what other people are telling you that it is. There are people from the right and the left who have bashed this movie, and people on the right and the left who are uniting and seeing the light in this and the darkness that is being exposed. And please do not lump this film into QAnon or any right wing or any other conspiracy because of the personal beliefs of some people who worked on this film. You can say what you want about those, but that's not what this film is associated with. There have been people who were talking negative about this movie, saying things online, saying that it is a conspiracy, and they seemingly had good reason with everyone else who were saying the same things, who they heard from, not having actually seen the movie yet. And then they saw the movie, and they admitted that they were wrong, and that this film didn't have anything to do with that. And I realized that not every plot line that happened in the movie actually happened in real life. But you'd be surprised at how much actually did. Like the island raid, where they went undercover and arrested the criminals and freed the children. You can look up footage of that. But other things, like Tim Ballard's one-man mission to go into the Colombian jungle to rescue one kid, no, that didn't actually happen. But they added things to serve the purpose of the story. What is important is highlighting the experience of what actually happens to people who are trafficked and letting their voice be heard. I know I've said that 1,000 times, but I cannot emphasize that enough. Tim Ballard even says in the credits message that this isn't about me or Tim Ballard or trying to turn us into some sort of heroes. The heroes of this film are the children, specifically the brother and sister duo, Rocio and Miguel, who I don't know if are based off of real people or not, but I know that there are children like them, brothers and sisters who have been separated. And Rocio and Miguel, they believed, they worked to find each other again, to see each other again, to go back home. They're the heroes of the story. And they're the voices that must be heard in order for the whole world to work together to stop anyone who is doing this to people, but most importantly, so that it never happens to another person again, to free them, no matter who they are. That's what this movie is.